Hello everyone, welcome to Screen Scream. I'm Viola. Sorry for the delay because I had the chance to watch the screening of one of the new movies we're going to talk about today. So I decided to record the show after I watched the screening. But after I watched it, I really didn't have a lot of time to record anything. So here we are, the show from last week. But I hope you can still enjoy it. Let's listen to the introduction of the first new movie we're going to talk about today. Blind Chance. In 1981, in the troubled Poland, when the father of the medical student Wojtek Delugas dies, he asks 1 year leave to the dean of the university to rethink his vocation to medicine. He decides to travel to Warsaw, but while running after the train in the station, 3 possible events happen. In the first possibility, Wojtek reaches the train, meets his former sweetheart, Zuzka, that belongs to an anti-communist underground movement and joins the party after saving hostages of protesters in a building. In the second possibility, Wojtek is caught by a guard in a station while running to catch the train and reacts, being sent to the court and sentenced to 30 days of community work. He joins the group of students that are against the system, publishing papers in an underground press, while his comrades are arrested by the government agent. Wojtek is having a love affair with the sister of a childhood friend and escapes from prison. However, his former companions believe he is a traitor. On the third possibility, Wojtek does not reach the train and decides to return to the university and conclude the medicine course. He marries his girlfriend Olga and they graduate in the medical school. They become successful doctors and Wojtek accepts to travel to Paris to present the lecture of the dean, who was disgraced with the party when his son was arrested in a movement against the government. The 3 serendipities do not bring happiness to Wojtek.
Pani pozwoli ze mną.
Myśli pan, że to przypadek? Zacznijmy od początku.
Nie zdążyłem, gdybym było 5.
Wow, the introduction was so long. The first new movie we're going to talk about today is Blind Chance. Actually, it's a classic re-release. It's a Polish movie released in 1987. I wasn't even born then, and I like it very much after watching it. There's no spoiler in the introduction, but it still tells us what will happen to the protagonist Wojtek on the 3 different possibilities. And just like the last sentence of the introduction said, all 3 serendipities do not bring happiness to Wojtek. So I can tell you that this is not good ending. All 3 of them are not good ending. But we can still learn something from it. The movie wants to tell us that sometimes some little things in our life will change our whole life. And it's not up to you. At least it's not up to the Polish student Wojtek in the movie. And I think the movie also tells us that sometimes a lot of things are blessings in disguise. When something happens and it's bad, we usually think, oh, how unlucky I am. Why would this happen to me? Things like that. But what we don't know is maybe this is already the most fortunate thing that could happen to ourselves at the time. And I think this is exactly what the movie Blind Chance wants to tell us. Sometimes only when we think backwards, we will be able to realize that, oh, if I didn't get on that train, or oh, if I did get on that train, something even worse would happen. And actually, this concept is told in a new movie, Bullet Train, recently. We will cover Bullet Train later in the episode, so I think this is really interesting. So basically, when we watch Blind Chance, we're going to see the protagonist Wojtek chasing after the train 3 times, but the results will be all different. And even though all these 3 serendipities do not bring happiness to Wojtek, after watching it, we can still ask ourselves, which of the results do we prefer and why? And I think that's the most precious part of Blind Chance. Now let's listen to the introduction of the second new movie we're going to talk about. Teasing Master, Takagi San The Movie. Takagi and Nishikata are in their final year of middle school and have both anxiety and hope for the future. During the summer of their final year, on the day before summer vacation starts, the two find a kitten that they name Hana. They decide to take care of the kitten themselves until they can find its mother. The second new movie we're going to talk about today is a Japanese animation. It's adapted from manga, and the original manga was sold for more than 11 million copies. This is the story that happens in the summer when young love just begins to bloom. This movie was released in September this year, and the story was set in the summer of 2022. So just about 1 or 2 months before it's released, we're going to see the burgeoning first love that everyone wants to witness. Since Takagi-san is super good at making fun of others, playing tricks on others, and teasing, so that's the reason why the title is called Teasing Master Takagi-san. So Takagi-san is a teasing master, and because she is the teasing master, the male protagonist tries very hard to pay back every day, but Takagi-san always sees through him. So basically, the movie depicts the story of their daily life teasing each other. Just like the introduction said, this is the third year, the last summer of their middle school. They are about to become adults. They're going to say goodbye to the school they're so familiar with. And also, they need to think about what they want to do in the future, their career, or they want to go to college, things like that. So in the movie, we're able to see how they're young in this summer. And the movie is produced by the original author of the manga, with the exact same crew of the TV anime. So I'm pretty sure the movie version is going to be very lively and delicate. So if you're a fan of Teasing Master Takagi-san, or you just love Japanese animation, or even better, you just want to experience some young love in such a chaotic era, maybe this movie is the choice for you this weekend. I think the content of the movie is very funny, and the color it uses is very bright. So it really gives you the vibe of middle school and young love, first love, things like that. Very energetic, very exciting. Now, before we move on to Top 007, let's review what we had from last week first. We had 4 movies as top 3 last week, very crowded. DC League of Super Pets, Minions: The Rise of Gru, Nope, and One Piece film Red. Top 2 was Top Gun Maverick. And last but not least, Top 1, Bully Train. Let's check out Top 7 to Top 4 this week. Top 6, Emergency Declaration.
나는 여기 비행기에 탄 사람들이 전부 죽었으면 좋겠어요.
Top 5, Orphan, First Kill.
We found your daughter. She's alive.
Be prepared for changes. We have a child therapist.
Top 4, Beast.
Devil. I've never seen anything like this.
Oh, we only have 3 movies from top 7 to top 4 this week, so probably top 3 to top 1 is still a little bit crowded this week. But anyway, let's talk about all of them. Top 6, Emergency Declaration, we've talked about it for 1 week. And as I mentioned, one of the leading actors, Im Shi-won, is famous for his gentle image, but he played the terrorist in this movie. So if you are a fan of him, you probably want to watch this movie because you are going to witness how his acting skill can be excellently demonstrated. Top 5, Orphan, First Kill. This is the second episode of the movie Orphan, but actually the story is prequel. So far, it's not critically acclaimed, partly because, as we know, Orphan is a movie talks about a person who always has this children-like face And that's the reason why she can pretend she's just a kid and does all the bad things. But since the character is not played by a kid, but by an adult, the actor must grow a little bit older than the time she did the first episode. But if Orphan First Kill is actually a prequel, doesn't she need to look actually younger? So a lot of people say that they aren't persuaded to believe in this character at all. She didn't look like she's an 8-year-old kid at all, so that's one of the problems. Top 4, Beast. It's a story in the wilderness of a father and 2 daughters when they realize that they are being hunted by a lion. When I watched the trailer, I felt that in the beginning, it wants us to feel that, oh, this is a very happy movie. It's a family going out together. And then suddenly everything changes. And that's when the Beast comes out. And it's also our time for top 3 to top 1. Let's listen to it. Top 3. Dragon Ball Super. Superhero.
孫悟空によって壊滅した悪の組織
One Piece Film. Red.
離れていてもお前は一生俺の娘だ
Top 2. Top Gun. Maverick.
Captain Pete Maverick Mitchell. Let me be perfectly blunt.
Top 1. Bully Train.
I am ready. You are getting the new and improved me. Because if you put peace out in the world.
Yes, as expected, there are 4 movies from top 3 to top 1 this week, a little bit crowded. And since Dragon Ball Super is the only new phase on the charts this week, we're supposed to talk about it. But I want to talk about it next week if it's still on the chart. Today, let's talk about Bully Train a little bit more. Just like I said in the beginning of the episode, I would talk about Bully Train. I think Bully Train also wants to tell us that many things in our lives are actually blessing in disguise. Something that we think means bad luck, but actually it brings us good luck. What does that mean? For example, if you still remember the cricket in Mulan, that cricket is supposed to bring good luck. But because Mulan messed up her matchmaking, the cricket thinks that he's actually bad luck. But eventually we see that Mushi actually thinks he's really lucky. And I think it's the same with Brad Pitt's character in Bully Train. His character's name in Bully Train is called Ladybug. And according to one of the other characters, Ladybug doesn't mean luckiness, but the person who bears all the unluckiness so that everyone around him could be safe. But I think it's actually totally opposite. I think Ladybug is really lucky. And actually, some assassins around him who want to kill him die. So he's pretty lucky. So I think that's the most interesting part of Bully Train. This happens in daily life a lot actually. For example, me and my book club is reading a book called The Sentence, and we had a discussion about something that really confused us. And I decided to find out the email address of the author. I couldn't find it, but I found a bookstore which seems to be owned by her. So I wrote a message to the bookstore, and only after I wrote it, I realized that there's actually a notice on the top saying, do not try to reach blah blah blah, the author's name, through this website. And I was like, oops. But then, a few days later, I received her response with her own email address. And at first, I thought it's junk mail because the title is really weird, the title of the email. And then I saw the sender, and I found it very familiar. And I realized that, wait, that's the author. So at the beginning, I thought I would be scolded by the bookstore, or they just ignored me, didn't even bother to send me an email to scold me for sending a message to reach the author. But now I'm really glad that I did. And these really are the serendipities we can encounter in life. Hope you also have this kind of experience. And hope you like the show too. I'm Viola. See you next week.